what is up with all of this Hayden Christensen love affair that now Star Wars fans seem to have for his character of Anakin Skywalker? You know, I guess I'm old enough, and I guess I'm going to show my age by actually saying this. I'm old enough to remember when the prequels came out and everybody hated on him, uh, destroyed his acting, which, to be honest, was really bad. It was really bad. Even though I blame the scriptwriters more than I blame him, though he still, look, you could have had the best actor in that role, and it still wouldn't have been good. It just wouldn't have been good because it was just bad script. It was bad dialogue all the way around. So, I mean, I'm not going to put all the blame on Hayden Christensen. I felt like he did the best he could with a bad script. Uh, that being said, I remember when people was like, he ruined my childhood. He ruined the legacy of Darth Vader by being so whiny, by being such a terrible character in those prequel trilogy. And now it's like everybody's like Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Anakin Skywalker. Bring back Hayden Christensen. Have Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen fight each other. Um, that's so odd to me to hear. To hear that fans are speaking of him like they almost do, a Hamill, or one of those characters like Harrison Ford. Like, I mean, it's crazy to me to hear this, but then at the same time, I'll admit I kind of get caught up in it as well. I'm like, man, I'd love me some nostalgia right about now because I don't really like the way this story's heading. I would love to see something take place that happened before Disney took things over. To have it when Star Wars actually felt like Star Wars. Now everybody can complain, and I know I've been one that complained about the animation that happened in the prequels. I mean, it looked terrible. Computer animation, CGI was terrible in it. The script was bad in it, but at the end of the day, it did feel like Star Wars in a lot of ways. I feel like it didn't tarnish the original trilogy quite like fans back in the day thought it did. I think the sequel trilogy tarnished a lot of what the original trilogy. I think it tarnished Darth Vader. I think it tarnished a lot. I mean, it definitely tarnished Luke Skywalker. Completely, I would say, ruined Luke Skywalker in the eyes of fans in a lot of different ways. And I almost kind of think that was kind of the point. It's kind of like what Kylo Ren said. Let the past die. I think that's Kathleen Kennedy's view on things. Let the past die, and let's create new characters, characters that we want to see in these movies, and not characters that necessarily fans want to see. But the only way that they can bring those characters into to life is by garnering an audience by tricking fans into watching these shows. Obi-Wan Kenobi title is a very clear projection of this, where we get to see Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it's been the Reva and Leia story, but it hasn't been Obi-Wan Kenobi's story so far. Of course, and they've somehow managed to get it this far without us having that iconic battle scene that we've been looking for when it comes to Obi-Wan and Anakin. But at the same time, they gave us that little where they're practicing scene. And I just kind of wonder, is this going to be it? Is this really going to be the best that we're going to get out of this? And I would say, unfortunately, probably yes. It probably is going to be the best that we're going to get to see out of it. I don't have so much hope for the series finale or season finale of this particular show. I think it's going to go down the exact same route it's gone uh, for the last 5 episodes. It's going to be the Leia and the Reva story. I mean, the idea that Darth Vader can't kill a woman twice is absolutely beyond me. how does he stab somebody, a child, with a lightsaber and don't kill them? Like, what did they do? Just leave the bodies in there to rot in the Jedi Temple? Like, you're telling me that they didn't make sure everyone was dead? Like, I thought that was the whole point of it, was to make sure everyone was dead. Like, how did she get out? I'm sure that will never be talked about very much, but it'll always be something that fans will wonder. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like when it comes to this love of Hayden Christensen and the prequels, I feel like it comes from two different routes. I feel like it comes down the route of new fans coming in and not really having the same love for the original trilogy as what fans who grew up in the 80s and 90s felt towards those particular franchises. I think that has a big role in maybe people looking at the prequels differently than what the older generation looked at the prequels. I think another thing was, and probably the more fitting one, is that the sequel trilogy was just so bad that fans looked to to the prequels, and was like, wow, prequels actually felt like Star Wars, and it was miles and miles better uh, than uh, than the sequel trilogy. And that's just a sad case of it. Everybody's excited about The Mandalorian, including myself, because Mandalorian season 2 was so good. It was really good. But it was good by Disney standards, not good by Star Wars standards. Like that's something that Star Wars fans have had to come to accept. Is it's good by Disney Star Wars standards, not good by Star Wars standards as a whole. Obi-Wan Kenobi will be seen as that way. It will be seen as a show that had a lot of potential. It seemed like it had everything lined up in the appropriate fashion to make a really good story. I felt like it had enough to bring in new fans and old fans alike. When it come to Obi-Wan and when it come to the Inquisitors, something that we saw a lot of in Rebels with the newer generation of Star Wars fans. It had a little bit of everything, and then somehow it just turned into this crap show of about Riva and Leia. Like it, we've got to see Luke Skywalker once. I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi was supposed to be taking care of Luke, and instead he leaves him there by himself, which Bail Organa actually speaks about in his hologram in episode 5 about how now Luke is unprotected. Well, yeah, he is, and that's Obi-Wan's only job, his only mission in life now is to protect Luke Skywalker, and he's doing a pretty crappy job of it. And I don't understand why this show felt the need to really bring that out, other than the fact of they cannot stand Luke Skywalker. They literally cannot stand Luke Skywalker. They would rather anybody be in there. They know that Anakin, while he is loved, is not beloved by fans all around like Luke Skywalker. So they can bring in Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker and they can bring in Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan Kenobi. But they're not going to get people aren't going to be clamoring more and more for, an Anakin Skywalker series or another Obi-Wan Kenobi series base with Luke Skywalker. They're going to be wanting a Luke Skywalker series, and that's the last thing Disney wants. I would not shock me if we get a Riva and Leia uh, uh, series in the future. That is just entirely what they want. And they're going to push that narrative, even if it costs them all the billions of dollars that they got buying this franchise. It's going to run it into the absolute ground until no one cares about it, until it's a middling franchise. And unfortunately, that's just the case of modern day Star Wars. But overall, at the very end, like I said, I feel like the love for Hayden Christensen is stems directly from how bad the sequel trilogy was, and about a new generation of Star Wars fans who don't feel as strongly towards the original trilogy as what older generation of fans do. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think below. Does it astound y'all to any extent? of why Hayden Christensen is so beloved and so wanted after he had all this hate for all this, a decade for his portrayal of Anakin Skywalker? Were you excited to see him in Obi-Wan Kenobi? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.